Hey everybody, how are you today? Welcome to my kitchen. I'm glad to have you here. I want to, as always, thank you for being here. Thank you for the work that you do on behalf of other people. And of course, thank you so very much for taking your time and honoring the journey that you are on and giving yourself a free moment to come here and join me and join many, many other people who are sharing the journey that you are on in terms of caregiving, particularly caring for complicated illnesses of all kinds. I honor you for being here. I honor you for the work that you do, and I really am appreciative of everyone being here and how much it means to me and my team to be able to put together a program like this for you. I want to begin today by starting off and letting you know that I am going to give you a presentation about things that you probably know a lot about already in terms of the angst and the stress and the stressors that come with caring for other people. And the one resonant theme that I want to make sure that you're all aware of and runs through all of this is that you understand that you are a person too, obviously, and that you need to take care of you as much as you need to take care of those in your family and those that you love. Um, I'm calling this presentation "Be Proactive, Be Proficient, Change Lives." It's about how to become a confident, organized, and empowered caregiver. And one of the things, if you know me and the work that I do, it is all about being proactive. One of the former commissioners of the Department of Mental Health in state of Connecticut actually said to me one time that one of the biggest traps that we can fall into in any kind of caregiving situation, be it in a personal one, in a family, or even when a guy like him is running, thousands of people and caring for thousands and thousands of others. He said the worst thing that we can do is to react in moments of crisis because when we react, we are utilizing our resources in the most inefficient and ineffective manner. And I want to make sure that you understand how important that is. If nothing else, hold on to that little nugget right there. So, again, I'm really glad you're here. If you're here, it's because you are on a journey of caregiving for other people. And I want to thank you for showing up. You are absolutely in the right place today. As long as I could figure out all the IT technical stuff to get you through this program here today, I'm going to hopefully have a good time and tell you some things and give you some exciting insights that you can all take advantage of. And I want to make sure that we do uh, talk about the fact that any kind of caregiving really makes you feel like you got a stranglehold on you, right? It makes you feel like you're constantly trying to hold your breath for months and months on end. This isn't just a one-off. This isn't just a one-day kind of a thing. You have tons of things to juggle in your own life, like, I don't know, medications, appointments, maybe crises, perceived or otherwise, the love of your family and your obligations at work. And sometimes we even feel a little anxious. We feel a little guilty, maybe. Well, now you have that in your own life, but you also have to take care of all of that stuff and more in the life of somebody that you love, in the life of somebody that you're caring for. Um, and a lot of times people don't understand and don't feel or can't fully get a hold of or grasp that burden and that weight that you are, in fact, carrying. So I want to get into a PowerPoint presentation. Well, more or less a PowerPoint presentation. Um, And I want to share my screen with you here, and I want to talk to you about some of the things that we've recognized in my team over the years with regard to caregiving, and some of the pitfalls, if you will, some of the dangers that we all fall into in terms of caregiving and whatnot. So again, be proactive, be proficient, change lives. All right. I mean, right off the bat, we're talking about how we need to get out of reaction mode. We need to learn. We need to grow. We need to be strong so that we are more capable. And in doing that, we will, in fact, change lives. So anybody out there who is caring for another person, that could be a parent supporting a teenage kid, or a young adult, or even a little kid that has their issues and some mental health issues, or even maybe failure to launch type of issues. There could be adults that are caring for aging parents, or adults that are caring for siblings or other loved ones. Maybe your spouse or your partner is having trouble dealing with some kind of an illness that and they really need your help. Your brother, your sister, your best buddy next door, your wife, your girlfriend, your significant other, or even if you're a professional caregiver, like a nurse, a care manager, a care coordinator, a case manager, any of this type of people who are just feeling like they're really stretched thin. I'm here to talk to you and to reiterate to you some of the things that you already know, some of the things that you may need to be reminded of, but also to give you some tools, real life tools that you can use. And as we go through this presentation, you'll see some of the tools that we use in real life in my office that are really helpful in terms of staying on top of and staying out in front of the caregiving that you are doing. So, again, I talked about this. When you're a caregiver, and my world comes from the world of mental illness. So, particularly folks who are struggling to help an individual with mental illness, it does feel like you're holding your breath. You are juggling tons and tons of things, and very often you don't feel appreciated. You don't feel that there's other people that are there, willing and able to help you. We're here to change that. Okay. You're here. I'm here to be with you. My team is here to be with you. And there's lots and lots of people that are on the journey with you that want to learn from you and want to help to guide you along as well. So, no matter what you're doing, you may have come across a feeling of despondency. I'm doing everything I can. It just feels like too much. I need to figure out how to get myself on top of this stuff. That is why we're here tonight. That is what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how you can take steps to get proactive and get more proficient. Now, let's talk about this for a second because you're not alone. As I say, in everything that I do, I try to impress upon everybody that there are thousands and thousands of people out there that are on a similar journey to yours. No two journeys are the same, but there are thousands of people who are on a similar journey. Burnout is not a sign of weakness, right? Burnout is that you are strong. You've been at it for too long. You don't have structure, you don't have support, and you really need something to help you to help others. And we're going to change that feeling of burnout today. We're going to give you tools and the opportunity to implement strategies that will really help you to get around the chaos that you might feel. Now, here's some stats for you. 70% of people who are caregiving feel that they are anxious, that they're burnt out, they don't feel supported. They very often wind up taking 24 or more hours every single week to care for another person. They're not getting paid, and they're doing that on top of their full-time job. So not only do you have a full-time job and you got your own family, but you also have a part-time job caring for somebody else. We understand that. 60% of people say that caregiving causes them high emotional stress and does impact their health. And if you're feeling that way, you are not alone. We are here for you. We're here for you here today, tonight, and moving forward. So what I want you to understand is that 100% of you deserve systems, tools, resources that make caregiving much easier, much more sustainable, and frankly, much more fulfilling, right? Something that you enjoy doing instead of feeling like it's a chore and something that you have to do. So, who am I? I'm Mike Macniak. Many of you know me. That's why you're here. I've been working for over 30 years in the mental health field as it intersects with law. I am a lawyer. Don't hold it against me. I came up with a treatment modality back in 2001 in collaboration with the Probate Court Administration and the Department of Mental Health in the state of Connecticut. Our treatment modality is based upon care coordination, which 25 years ago was not a buzzword that you heard very often, and not too many people understood it. Frankly, I think we were a little bit ahead of our time, and it's taken quite a while for the mental health systems to catch up with the concept of care coordination. And that's a whole other story for another day. That's a whole other presentation for another day. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Um, but I do want to brag about the accolades that we've gotten all across the country, but at the same time, it's not that's not what's important. That's not what we do. The point is that my team and I have been doing this for 25 plus years. Again, I'm a lawyer. My team is stock chock full of uh, clinical case management folks, clinical social workers who are the best of the best in terms of putting together comprehensive, well coordinated care plans to assist other care providers and other systems of care in effectively and efficiently delivering services to those most at need who live in our community. Folks with severe persistent mental illnesses, for example. That's my focus. But today, we already talked about this. How we're going to get into the idea and tackle the idea of being proactive, leading to proficiency, and leading to ultimately changing lives. I want to give you simple systems that can help to reduce your stress right now. I'm all about real time action, real time solutions to real time problems, right? I don't like leaving people to say, okay, now you have your tools, go and research or do whatever. No, that's not what I'm about. I want you to have real life stuff that you can use immediately and feel an impact from. I want you to understand how you can communicate more effectively with providers. Walk the walk and talk the talk is what I like to say. I want you to be able to prevent your burnout that you may be feeling already or that is starting to creep in a little bit. And I want you to have a tool that can combine all these other tools together so that you can have one place to go to that's like your command center hub, if you will, to take care of yourself, your family, and those that you love. So at the end of this, I'm going to give you practical steps that you can use right away. And I want you to have a system that will keep you ahead of the chaos of being a caregiver. So let's get started. What we want to do is we want to build a foundation, folks, for calm, right? Charity, something that will make you feel confident as you re-embrace the role of caregiver. So I want to talk to you about these three systems and how we're going to break them apart. We talked about being proactive. We're going to talk more about that. We're going to talk about planning, and being proactive means means to make plans. Being proactive means to get out in front of whatever situation may be confronting you. And I've discussed that with you already. But it also means learning, studying, understanding the interrelatedness of service systems, the interrelatedness of people's roles within those service systems, and becoming a leader, if you will, so that you are somebody that is respected. You become somebody that people look to for guidance. You are not sloughed off. You are not ignored. I like to say that very often in the systems that I work in, the squeaky wheel does not get the grease, right? The squeaky wheel is ignored and kind of we turn our heads away and try to keep them away. The squeaky wheel is shut up in the back of the garage and does not get fixed. Um, I want you to be the squeaky wheel that knows what they're talking about, that is not squeaking just for squeaking's sake, that you actually know how to walk that walk and talk that talk. And that comes from being proactive and being education. As they say, knowledge is power. I want to give you the tools that are going to let you have that knowledge and therefore garner that respect. So let's talk about we'll call it our system number one. We'll call it capturing, right? We want to capture information. We want to collect and organize all the information that we possibly can. So what we want to really be doing then is taking control of information that we have about our loved one, about our family, about the needs of our loved one, about the needs of our family. And we want to be able to keep it in one organized place so that we can make reference back to it and have answers for caregivers. Caregivers always have mountains and mountains of data, right? About all those meetings and appointments and the details of their loved one's illness and symptomology and oh my God, all the paperwork that comes in from insurance. And we wind up with a paper, like a stack of paper, like I'm showing you here on the screen. We don't have any place to put it. It's all maybe in one pile, but it certainly isn't organized. When we can get organized, when we, first of all, have a system by which we can structure our information, we automatically start to lower the temperature a little bit, right? And get that crisis, that angst sort of melts away. Oh, yeah, I know where that is. Let me just flip to this page. I know exactly where that is. Just think about how I think about my basement workshop. It's such a mess. And every time I go down there, I get more and more stressed out trying to find what I'm looking for. If I would just take the time to clean it and organize it, right? Same with my computer. I can't tell you how many times I spend 10 minutes looking for a document to open it up, look at it quickly, and then close it. It's just because I'm not organized that way. So we're going to give you a journal, the concept of a journal that you will be able to put stuff into so that you will have it in one place. Quickly get to it, quickly access it, find out what the information tells you, and if need be, regurgitate it, right? Give it off to somebody else. Very often, we have caregivers who are out there, but they have information that's just all over the place, or God forbid, they try to keep it all in their minds. They got sticky notes all over the place. Their computers are a disaster area because they're just covered with sticky notes. The paperwork piles up like in the last slide. And then we wind up feeling guilty or burnt out. And then we just feel like we just can't tackle it because it's just too much of a burden. We're just going to continue to plow through and hope for the best, right? So I'm encouraging you here today to create one central hub of information, continuously updating it. This is not it doesn't have to be an overwhelming chore, but understand that all of this documentation is a living, breathing document that you have to have control of, but you also got to feed it. You have to nurture it and you've got to keep it organized because it is going to continue to grow. Okay, so in system number two, we'll call our communication system. Caregiving is not, never has been a solo act, right? It is a team sport. Absolutely, without a team, you are going to be drowned. You have to have people that you can rely on, and you have to be there so that people can rely upon you. You have to be a willing participant of the team. All of those team members have to be pulling in the same direction, right? It's pulling the oars in the same direction in order to move us forward. Period. Stop. That's undeniable. If we're not organized, we wind up being in reactive mode. We wind up duplicating work. We wind up missing medications. We wind up missing appointments. We wind up just going down the path of crisis, which could have been prevented or at least avoided or minimized, as opposed to, the storm that hits us when we are trying to do too many things and be all over the place instead of being focused and thoughtful about what it is that we're trying to do. So what we want to do is not only do we want to collect our information, we want to understand what the information is telling us, but also allow that information to be communicated to other people so that we can clearly communicate with providers, other family members, our big giant support network of people who are out there who want to help us, folks. Yes, there are plenty of people out there who want to help us. They just don't know how to ask, and they're waiting to be asked. So communicate your needs to them, communicate your loved ones' needs to them, and figure out how others can help you fill the roles that you're really struggling with filling. So communicated connected communication looks something like this. This is a design that I have used since forever, right? This is just the simplest tool that you could possibly have. It is they call it an infographic, which means you can look at it, just one quick look at this, one little glance at it, and it can give you a plethora of information. So if you take something simple like this infographic, where in the yellow is our loved one, this is the person we're caring for, and we are surrounding them with all kinds of providers, all kinds of people who are in the community, who are professionals, who are friends, who are legal, who are in other kinds of disciplines, and may or may not be involved in the life of your loved one. But just by having this document, this one go-to tool, for instance, really helps break down, as I said before, lowering the temperature of crisis, lowering the temperature of stress and anxiety. To just say, oh yeah, I could fit. Oh, what day do I have the court date? Okay, who was it that was the probation officer? Oh man, I forgot who the conservator for so and so is, or what the doctor's name is. Well, here's your answers. They're right here at your fingertips. Simple tools like this that can be implemented immediately, right now. If nothing else, jot this down, just copy this and make this on a little piece of scrap paper so you have it. And this is my gift to you, right? This is so simple, but I'm telling you, it is so impactful. All right. So some of the other things that we want to talk about, we'll call our continuity system. Life happens. Life comes at us very fast. Uh, Very often, unfortunately, we wind up having to have plans in place in case action is required to address crises, right? So here is a plan, generally a really quick plan, if you will, that you could fill out to have in your arsenal of tools. Have this in your toolbox so that in the event of a crisis, you don't have to do too much thinking. You don't have to worry about what do I do? What do I do? You have it written down already. And I want to give you other tools that will go along with the crisis plan, such as, oh my God, what do I need to remember? I'm going to have a checklist for you of things that you need to have in case a crisis hits. I think that we need to have somebody to remind us as we're walking out the door sometimes, get your car keys. Ladies, grab your purse. Gentlemen, grab your wallet. You're going to need it later, right? So in addition to preparing things like a crisis plan in advance, we also want to be able to prepare things like all the demographic information that we need for our family and our loved one right here at our fingertips. Who is the doctor? Who is the therapist? Who is the clinician? What day is the appointment? Where is the appointment? Um, what does the onset of illness look like? When did this all start? When did this journey into whatever illness we may be talking about? When did it begin? What have been the symptoms of the illness? What have been some of the medications tried? What have been some of the interventions that have been tried? Where have they been tried? What hospital have they gone to? Which hospital was good for them? Which hospital wasn't so good for them? We want to collect all of that information, have it all in one place, along with all the medical providers. And I know I'm probably beating a dead horse here, but I want you to have it all in one place so that if and when a crisis happens, you have a crisis plan, but it also relates back to all the information that you know of about your loved one or your family or your friend, and you can give that to other people who may benefit from knowing what you know about the history of your loved one's illness. Nobody is a better reporter about that than you, and you have to keep that in mind for the benefit of them, your family, yourself, your own peace of mind, etc. Today is a day where burnout prevention begins because you are going to get proactive. You are going to take that document that I showed you with the hub with all the caregivers around it. You're going to fill that out. You're going to create a crisis plan. You're going to take demographic information and have that available to you and to any of your loved ones' care providers. You're going to have a glossary of terms that you can use and or at least understand what the terms mean so that when providers are talking to you about in-home care or they're talking about the role of a power of attorney versus an attorney in fact or all these different roles and these different a lot of times anagrams and things that people are throwing at you. You want to understand what all those things mean, and I want to give you the tools to be able to do that because again, knowledge is power. When you have the information at your fingertips, when you have studied or understand where to go to look for the definition of some of these very obscure terms that we use in the treatment and the personal growth fields, you naturally become confident. You naturally become empowered. And that shines off of you, right? When you are confident and you show up to a meeting with a dozen high-paid professionals who are all in the room to help you to take care of your loved one, and you know what you're talking about, and you're there with confidence, and you're not there just to complain and to carry on, but you understand the processes. People want to listen to you. People want to help you. People want to welcome you as part of their team. They want to embrace you as part of their team. So right now, if you would, just go down to the chat at the bottom of your screen or on the side of the screen, wherever it may be, and think about some of the things that you've been struggling with as a caregiver, right? Take a couple seconds and just let me and my team know what are some of the things that you've been struggling with as a caregiver? What are some of the things that you need to be more on top of and get proactive about? Where do you consistently fail inconsistent, right? Where do you consistently feel chaos? Um, and what do you need right now that can really help you to help your loved one and become an even stronger advocate for them? Just no pressure here. I'm just curious about what are some of the things that you find yourselves really lacking. Insight into ourselves and insight into our own shortcomings is so very powerful. I want to give you a bunch of tools as well that I call sort of like surveys or introspective tools that will really help you to identify your strengths and what you perceive as your weaknesses and what you think that you need to do to overcome them or compensate for them so that you can be a better person for yourself as well as your loved one. So, part of what I want you to have as well is some of these tools that can really assist you to do that and to understand where you might struggle, where you might be really strong, where you need to ask for help, where you want to be able to help others. And that gaining that insight again is just so important to your own empowerment and who you can be as a caregiver and as a team member. So again, we talked about this at the outset. 70% of people that are caring for others are out there burning out and feeling anxiety. They're getting depressed. They say that they lack training, they lack a system, they lack coordination of all the information that they have coming at them. And unfortunately, 1 in 3 of you are right now feeling the burnout of emotional stress. It doesn't have to be inevitable burnout. I mean, maybe it doesn't. People want to say, oh, you're inevitably going to burn out. Well, you don't really have to, but maybe if you are burning out, it's a signal that we need to rethink the approach. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do here tonight. How can I get you over this hump? How can I get you to implement all of these things without feeling even more burnt out or more overwhelmed? I want you to see how systems put in place by you proactively do create clarity, right? And I want to give you a place to start. I want you to have a way of organizing the information systems that you have about your loved one and your family. I want you to have a way of organizing your day-to-day calendar, the day-to-day calendar of your loved one. I also want to make sure that you have a way of organizing your thoughts about yourself and where you're showing up in the world every day, not just for everybody else, but also for yourself. I want you to be checking in on things. Yes, you have a lot to do. Nobody's doubting that. And we applaud you for all that you do. However, on some level, I also want you to have a list of things not to do, right? I don't want you to spend hours and hours doing research and getting more confused, you know, typing your fingers to the bone and doing research online only to be more confused later. I don't want you to fall down rabbit holes. I don't want you to chase all kinds of shiny objects. So, a lot of what I want to offer you is the ability to implement tools that will also be a check-in for yourself every day. I want to give you templates that will help you to organize your loved one's life and their demographics and the information that pertains to their illness and how it impacts your family. This is like a diary. This is classic journaling, but it's all based upon you as the caregiver and what you can do to help your loved one. Yes, your loved one has to be the central focus, right? But without you being the caregiver, it's all going to fall apart. You're the one that has to be the strong, organized, proactive, educated, knowledgeable, and empowered caregiver that's going to change the life of yourself and your loved one. This is exactly some of the information that we want to keep all in one place in what we're calling our Carekeeper Journal. We developed this with you in mind. Yeah, you. I'm looking right at you because I have been working at this for 25 years. The last 5 years, especially, I've been very concerned about families and the impact that illnesses, particularly mental illness, has on the family unit. Not just the individual with the diagnosis, but what about the siblings that are living in the house too? What about the stress on the marriage of mom and dad? These are all real things out there that are absolutely uh, trackable. You can go and look up the statistics, and when you're given the right tools to help you, it should help to preserve some of that love and some of that bond that you have with your families, understanding that you're on a journey together and don't let the illness define you or your family, and don't let it shear you apart. The idea behind having a journal is to take away some of the repetitive tasks that we might want to do, or some of the repetitive um, research that we find ourselves doing. At one point in time, I knew exactly the date that he had his first onset of mental illness. At one point in time, I knew exactly the date that he was diagnosed with cancer. Now I got to go look that up again. And guess what happens? 3 months from now, somebody asks you that again. You have to go back and look it up again. We don't want to have all the tasks and everything going on in your life right now. We don't want to have it's a situation where you have to do more, right? We don't want, you've already got enough on your plate. We don't want to add anything else. We want to have a system that is central, that will be a go-to system for you, a place where you will have all those answers, and it's not going to be stressful to find the answers. That kind of stress, that kind of overload ends today, right here, right now. I created this Carekeeper Journal to help you feeling like you have to be reactive all the time. You're proactive in that it's there for you. You've taken some time. You keep building this living, breathing, iterative document, but that's the easy part. It's just right there at your fingertips for whenever you need it. This is your introduction to the Carekeeper Journal. It's an all-in-one caregiving command center. It combines organization, it combines education, self-reflection, and allows you to be a caregiver, a mother, a father, a husband, a wife, a loved one, a daughter, a son, so that you can care for other people, yes, without losing yourself. And you could do it in a manner that is, as I keep saying, proactive, effective, efficient. There are well over 45 pages of planning, organization, resources, support documentation in this journal alone. Now, that doesn't even count all the note pages that you can print out. It doesn't even count all of the daily calendar planning, monthly calendar planning that you could print out. So with the 45 pages alone, you're going to have your ability to have your daily information, your loved one's information, your own information, and that would include medical diagnoses, medical prescriptions, uh, anything, surgeries, historical data that goes to the impact of the illness on your loved one and on your family. And obviously, that also includes all the medical providers, the whole team of providers. Remember that demographic, that infographic that I showed you? That infographic is going to be page number 1 of this document for you. You create it. It's going to be yours, but it's going to be page number 1 so that, boom, just as by flipping open your binder, there it is. You have access to the information right at your fingertips. As I say, you're going to have a full calendar. You could print out as many pages of the calendar as you want. You could put them in a big 3-ring binder for the whole year, or a small 3-ring binder for just the beginning of the month, or the quarter, or however you want to divide it. That's up to you. What we're going to provide you is basically 75 to 100 page manual that is your command center, right? You will have access to all of these tools. You will have access to the glossary, to these surveys, these self-surveys that I was talking about, and so many other tools, including things like, what's a good way for me to sort of break the ice with my loved one? What are some engagement topics that we can sit down and have a cup of tea or a glass of wine and talk things over? Give me some things to talk about, because sometimes, frankly, I'm overwhelmed and I get a little tongue-tied and twisted, and I don't even have that at my fingertips. Or, hmm, I really don't know if I'm prepared to be a caregiver. Let me go through and assess why it is that I care so much about what other people think. And if I'm so worried about what other people are thinking, is that going to prohibit me from being a good caregiver? Or is that like caregiver 101? Let me do some analysis of myself, some introspection, so that I can see exactly how I think of myself as a caregiver. These kind of tools, these kinds of resources and surveys are right here for you in our CareKeeper journal. You will have an electronic version of this that is fillable, PDF version, fillable online, that you can keep at your fingertips forever. If things change, you can go in there and scratch out, reprint, get a whole new, brand new, clean copy, right? This isn't something that's going to look like chicken scratch and crayon scribbled all over the place. As things change in the life of your family and your loved ones' needs, so too can the documents. You can take these evaluations every 3 months to see how your own progress is going, what kind of growth you're experiencing. But I do want you to understand that the document that you're creating that will be kept in this binder is going to be yours forever. You can have it in your computer, on your phone, whatever's best for you, but you can go in and access the resource electronically. You can be carrying around your iPad and go to the doctor's office and say, "Here, doctor, here's the information that you need about the med compliance, about the med history, things like that," all at your fingertips all the time, because this document is yours to keep. From here on out, this is your command center. This is how you are going to build your own story and the story of your loved one. So you're going to be able to keep essential information at your fingertips, right? Track weekly, daily updates, planning future doctor's appointments, for instance, vacations, hopefully, for instance. The educational resources will help you communicate with confidence about your loved one, their illness, your family, your needs, your family's needs. I do want to remember, I do want you to remember to prioritize your self-care. There are pages built in to help you to do just that. And best of all, it's all going to be kept in one place, in your Carekeeper journal. We're giving you clarity, that is, everything's in one place, confidence and empowerment so that you are prepared. We're showing you how to collaborate with the team of providers that are involved in the life of yourself and your loved one, and basically trying to lower the temperature, be calm, feel more peace, less panic, less chaos. Other people that I've shared these documents with already are very excited to get it. Some people have been using it now for about the 6 months that we've been putting it together. They tell me that it feels like they have an assistant, a personal assistant. Wouldn't we all like to have a personal assistant? It's giving our family back a bit of peace, a modicum of tranquility when we need it most. It also, what really warms my heart is when I have family members tell me that, boy, I can really get a good night's sleep. Now if I forget something or I think I've forgotten something or misplaced something, at least I know where I can go to get it or where the information lives. It lives on your computer. If you print it out, it lives here in your three-ring binder. And that comfort, that peace of mind, that ability to get a good night's sleep and put your head on the pillow with confidence is worth its weight in gold, isn't it? So today I want to offer you this bundle, this package that I put together for you. You're going to get all of these pages, and as I said, you could print them out as many times as you want, and you could have them for the rest of your life. I want you to bring order to the chaos of caregiving by getting proactive. Include for you the journal itself, digitally, printably. Anyway, you could print it out. We're going to give you all kinds of bonus inserts that you can have in your journal for your own information, your own education. And basically, for those of you who are here now, we want to give you a free gift. See this binder that's down here in the screenshot? We're going to send this printed binder to you for being here tonight with us. Normally, the charge for this program is 37 bucks, and that doesn't include the binder. Today, I'm going to give it to you for $27, and I'm going to mail you the binder so that you can have all this stuff printed and all in one place. We're also going to give you access to our Care Coalition, which we put together as a sort of our own private little army of people who are really concerned about the issues that impact the treatment of mental health issues and caregiving as a whole, and look out from the perspective of the family who is trying to work so hard to provide security, peace, organization, tranquility for their family. So our Care Coalition is basically just that. It's a group of people who are like-minded in the need and the want to reach out to other people and help them along with their journey, and also to be helped along their journey. They always say, there's no dumb question, etc. But seriously, if you're in a group like the Care Coalition that we put together, your story can help to inform so many other people about something that they may have been wondering about, that they're afraid to ask. Or maybe you're afraid to ask something and hear somebody else's story, and they can inspire you or give you an answer that you were looking for. So, in addition to all these pages and all these resources and this Carekeeper journal and a three-ring binder, you're also going to become a member of our Care Coalition, and you're going to get all kinds of good, juicy information from that. I am constantly creating new documentation for you. I'm creating new essays, new articles, pointing you in new directions of interesting information that we come across, or interesting things that we anecdotally we may know about the struggles of a caregiver. So I welcome you all. I encourage you all to act right now, because this deal, this $10 savings here is going to go away. And You'll be back up to the $37 for documents that you're going to have for the rest of your life. This is a no-brainer, folks. This is the best place to start. The chaos, the disorganization ends right here, right now, today, right? And me and my team are here to be that for you. So, my friends, here's a list for you. Here's what you're going to get in addition to the three-ring binder. Of course, call it the three-ring binder to keep control of the three-ring circus, but here's your list of all you're going to get. So, breathe again. Take a deep breath. You spent a long time caring for everybody else. Now it is your time. Make it easier on yourself, which will make it easier on your loved ones. Get yourself organized, get proactive. You're not just going to change the loved one's life, you're going to affect your own life and the lives of everybody around you. We need to understand that we are all impacted by some form of illness, and we all need help. We all need a hand to get us started, to get our heads around it, get out in front of it. And that's what we want to do with you here tonight. So now I'm going to open it up and hope that if any of you might have questions, my team and I are here to answer. We will stick around for a little while anyway and give you guys the opportunity. Um, I do want to reiterate some of the things that we've already talked about and may come up again in your own mind. I know that some of you are saying, what do we really have this forever? Yes, you really have this document for this document. It's several different documents. You will have access to this document and this package of documents forever. My gift to you, I'm just asking you to cover a little bit of the cost for the printing of the binder and the mailing of the binder is really what we're getting here. I want you to join our Care Coalition so that we can be in constant contact with each other and and have the ability to continue dialogue. Um, some people ask me, can I use this if I'm not tech savvy? Of course you can use this if you're not. I'm not tech savvy, and I created it. Um, you're going to be able to use it absolutely if you're not tech savvy. This is a series of Word documents that we turned into a PDF, which means that it's a form on your computer. But it's also, here's the best part, it's a fillable PDF. So every one of these forms that you go into is fillable right there on your computer screen. So you don't have to print it out and then fill it in with your chicken scratch because I've got like the worst handwriting in the world. So everything is fillable, everything is in PDF format, fillable for you to make changes to, make sure you save it, and you can make changes to forever as you go forward with the document. Um, does this bundle work for any type of caregiving? Absolutely. I hope I've made that clear. My world for the last 30 years has been focused on mental health and the law. But of course, folks, if you're struggling to care for your sister, your aunt and your uncle, your stepfather, your father, and I'm going through people in my sphere, people that I love that are struggling with their loved ones. My aunt, my right hand man, Sarah, my other right hand man, Angela, they are all going through real complicated issues with loved ones, and they are using this journal on their own to take care of and to keep themselves organized so that they can address um, dementia, cancer, um, um, congestive heart failure. But again, this comes from a place of dealing with folks with mental illness. That's where we created it, but it is absolutely applicable to you as an individual. It's also quite applicable to you as a professional who may be out there caring for multiple people. Print it out multiple times, save it in several different file locations. This is your document. It's yours to keep forever. The How do I stay consistent with this journal is something that people often ask. And the continuity system that we're talking about is designed to do that exactly for you. As much as this is a tool, It is a journal. It is a diary of sorts in that I have purposely put in there places where you can do like a morning check-in. You can put down sort of a morning mantra. Again, we talked about the not to do list. And I really encourage you to look at this every morning and start your goals for the day. And then every evening, reflect back upon how you did relative to those goals. So, this continuity process or this continuity concept will, in and of itself, naturally create your consistency with being a journaler, a diarist, and help you in your journey as a caregiver. Um, the best I could say is invest once, use this forever. I want you to have this tool. I think that as for those of you who do know me, um, you know that I am really about giving back to folks like you who are helping others. I'm really about enhancing the care and the delivery of systems and effective delivery of care to people that are most at need. And this is just another example of that my team and I have worked really hard, and we're really proud of this item, this particular tool that we can offer to you.